Going on now.
Performed on the Talent Expo for
Welcome back, dear listeners. Good afternoon, and welcome to Youth Flex Season of Joy. I'm your host, Chanel Martinez, with my co-host, Deidre. Today on the show, we have campers from Teen Summit and representatives from the New Self-Help Community Foundation.
The Bible verse of the day is Romans 15, verse 13. Now the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, that ye may abound in hope in the power of the Holy Spirit.
As always, you can join in on our conversation by calling 1-800-534-8255, toll-free courtesy of Flow, or join us on YouTube Live. We are now joined with representatives from the New Self-Help Community Foundation. Can you please introduce yourselves?
Good evening.
We can hear you.
Good evening. My name is JC. I'm this.
Would you like to
All right,
start?
so we're just, working through some technical difficulties, but we're working through it. So we have Mr. J.C. Connor, and my name is Lloyd Barker, and I'm a volunteer, and I assist with the Talents Exposition of the Arts and the New Community Self-Help Foundation. And we are just here to talk about the Talent Exposition of the Arts and the foundation as well. So we are very much looking forward to what's to come on Sunday, and I'll head back over to the hosts.
Okay, so can you tell us your role at the Self-Help Foundation?
No, well, Mr. Barker will be the MC for this event, and he will also be doing a performance.
Okay.
I am the founder and the CEO and the organizer of the event and the New Self-Help Community Foundation.
Okay.
So what do you hope to achieve by staging this show?
So for the show, we're looking forward to just having the young talent on display and seeing what it is that Cayman has to offer. The Talent Exposition of the Arts has been a show that's been held for a number of years now, over 20 years, and we always see some of the greatest talents that Cayman has to offer. And we believe that it's a great opportunity to help to develop the young talent. It helps to give young people and just anyone who performs really the ability to be exposed and to get used to an audience, to get used to a stage. And those things go really far from a developmental perspective, and that confidence that's developed through the performing arts and through performing on shows like the Talent Exposition of the Arts will help for when people go into the workforce, when you go overseas for university, in terms of confidence and just really building that self-esteem. And so that's one of the things that we hope to gain out of the event, which is a continuous development of young people and performers generally.
Awesome. So before we continue this conversation, we're just going to take a quick music break.
So for our first music break, we will be having Damian Marley singing Speak Life.
Welcome back, listeners. We are joined by founder and CEO of the New Self-Help Community Foundation and organizer of the Talent Expo, Mr. JC. Also, performer and co-host Lloyd Barker, and we have a new face with us. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Terry Williams. I've been singing professionally from I was about three-year old with my grandma. Grew up in church. That's always the foundation. I did cabaret back in Jamaica before I moved to the Cayman Islands.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what genres or forms of art does this show cater?
Well, it's a variety of art. Like I say, you have dance, you have poetry, you have drama, you have musical theater, you have instrumental performances, you have solo pianists. So we call it a corporation of the arts.
Can you give us some details on what we can expect in terms of performers?
Yeah, well, you can expect, like I say, we have Rico Ronaldo and Miss Terry Williams. We have Mr. Lloyd Barker, and we have Centerpoint Dance Studio. We have UCCI dancers, who was choreographed and directed by Mr. Dr. Lawrence, who's always been giving us some good performances over the years. So I know you can expect some good performances from Cayman National Dance Company. And we also have John Gray Performing Arts, where we will have some strings by the high school performing arts.
Awesome. So, Mr. Lloyd and Miss Terry, are you allowed to share with us what your performance will be?
I mean, for me, I'm going to be bringing something a little special and a little different. I oftentimes like to enjoy and really just have fun while performing, and so I'm going to try and bring that to the stage, and that's really all I'll say. It's going to be something a little unique, and I think if you like to rock away a bit, if you like to feel good, if you like to sing for the queens, then this is the performance for you. So hopefully those who are listening will be that much more induced to come out.
I feel induced to come out. And you, Miss Harry?
Lloyd just pretty much said it all. Prefer to keep that a surprise.
Okay, no problem. So how can an interested person purchase tickets, and what is the cost for tickets?
Well, you can get your tickets at Winner Circle Sports or Funky Tanks, and prepaid tickets is $10, $15 at the gate. And first of all, before we go any further, I'd like to make a mention of some of the sponsors who has made it possible. Because, without the sponsors, it's very, very difficult to get things in. Especially these days after the COVID, things has changed so much. So we got Walkers, NCB, Rainbow Reality, Cayman Times, Dr. Steve Thompson, A.L. Thompson, CUC, Burger King, Radio Cayman, Logic, Mitsubishi, Delworth's Essos, Mike's Essos, Brown's Essos, Mark Russ, Frank Hall Homes, has been some faithful sponsors over the years, has continued to support the event over the years. So we have to give them a lot of credit for continue supporting us. But tickets is available at Funky Tanks and Winner Circle Sports.
Can performers register to participate in the show? And if so, how would they go about doing so? And what is the deadline to register?
No,
if there is one?
It's not that type of talent show. The talent show is already set.
Oh. Okay.
It's not the type of talent show where you walk in the theater or whatever and you ask to come up on stage or whatever who interested in performing.
So how did you come about picking the people to participate in the talent show?
Well, leading up to the show, like I say, it's a yearly event. We've been doing it for 20 years. So over the years, we have auditions. I go into different schools and seek talent. I work with, like I say, Centerpoint Dance Studio. We got Cayman Music School. All of those places where we get our talents from.
And I think as well, for those people who are interested in being part of the show, as attendees will be able to see on Sunday, it's a show that features a lot of really good talent, and I encourage people to come out, especially if you're interested in being part of it next year. Come out in order to speak to the organizers or those who are involved in it in order to get involved for next year. So that is one way that persons can actually streamline the process for themselves. And I don't know if Mr. JC actually recalls this, but I can recall being a very, very young person. I think this was back in 2006. I was probably about 14 years old, and I attended the first Talent Exposition of the Arts. And I might be mistaken, but it was at the Lion Center. But in any way, I ended up speaking to someone asking, how can I get involved in a Talent Exposition of the Arts? And again, this was back in 2006. And I ended up performing on the show in 2007. And here we are in 2021 after having performed on the show over 10 times and have hosted or co-hosted rather the show for a number of times. I am still part of the Talent Exposition of the Arts. And so it's just a testament to those who are listening. And if you have family or friends who would very much be interested and they're serious about performing arts, to get them to come out on Sunday and speak to the relevant persons in order to be involved from next year onwards.
Okay. And with the proceeds from this event, what will you be doing with it?
Well, the proceeds from this event will be going to the John Gray Music Department.
Okay, and is it just a specific, will it be like choir or musical instruments?
Well, it depends on Miss McConvey. I guess she already know the type of instrument that she needs, so I'm just giving her support that she will be able to purchase whatever, if it's guitars or saxophones or whatever they need.
Awesome.
You know, because I think that she does a very great job.
She does.
In the community, so I just decided, that's why I decided to do that this year.
Okay.
What do you hope that the youth will gain from attending or participating in this event?
Well, they will gain. That's why I have people like Mr. Lloyd Barker and Mr. Terry Williams, who I think is a very good singer professionally, and you know, that they can look at her and say, well, listen, at least we have someone to look up to because of her talent.
And, you know, I think as well, in terms of what the young people can get out of the show, as I had alluded to earlier, I think it's a great opportunity for development. And you have people who start performing on the show from a very young age, and it helps them in terms of personal development, developing their own confidence, developing self-esteem. And those are traits and qualities that can be translated to other areas of life, where we're talking about going into internships, going on to your first day of a new job or your first job, and also going into college, university, whether it's locally or overseas. Just to have that confidence and to have that boost in your self-esteem, performing arts and really being used to the stage, being used to an audience, and being used to presenting yourself in front of people can help you and elevate you in so many ways. And so it's really beneficial to get involved in these initiatives because it's kind of like a stepping stone to something greater. And so I think what we can expect and what we'd like to achieve is the development of people, not just young people, but performers on a whole, and developing ourselves as individuals. And so, yeah, I can say from my own standpoint and from my own perspective and experience that the Talent Exposition of the Arts has actually helped me with that over the years.
So, Mr. JC, as the founder, how did you come up with the vision for the Talent Exposition of the Arts?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I myself, as a performer and a songwriter, and growing up back in the days, I was also involved in football. And I was a national football player, and I was a former national football coach of the Cayman Islands. You know, one evening I was home, and this idea came to me, and I jotted down a few lines on a piece of paper, and I went to my good friend, Mr. Roy Barton, and I showed it to him, and I said, I just see, you know, we could work on something. So I gave it to him, and he gave me back about two sheets of paper, and I went to Mr. Woodward Terry, you know, as an attorney who organizes and put together these non-profit organizations, and that's how it came about.
Just to make some comments on, I feel like this talent exposition is a stepping stone for young musicians and young dancers who want to make it into the performance industry. It's quite hard, to struggle, especially coming from such a small island. It's a bit of a struggle sometimes to get there, especially to get places like where Beyonce is, or those A-star celebrities. But I feel like this exposition is a stepping stone to putting themselves out there, seeing if this is what they want to do with their lives, finding their comfort zone. And so I want to commend you on keeping this exposition going on for so long and keeping the interest where it is now. You have any more comments you want to make?
Yeah, what is it? Yeah. Like I said, there is a lot of more people that I could mention, because when I first started to, Mr. Miles, Mr. Miles used to be the chairman of this organization, but after I started to receive grants from the government, he had to resign. But he still supports the organization in any way that he can. But Mr. Miles played a role in the organization for the past 20 years too.
Yeah, and I also just want to utter that I agree with the points about it's a great opportunity for people to figure out whether or not this is something that they would like to do, and it also goes hand in hand. And I think it's appropriate for me to also mention to people that the Talent Exposition of the Arts is always quite a sold-out show, and you can expect parking lots to be fully filled on Sunday. Seats will be filled and so forth, and indeed, it is a great opportunity for performers or those who are interested in performing arts to come out, and for those who are actually performing, it might be their first time or one of their first times, and it really helps them to realize whether or not this is for them. And what's good as well, though, is that support is really important, and I find that performers usually do have a lot of support there on the stage, and there's just a lot happening in terms of the screams and the chants and so on. And I can go back as far as 2007 when I performed on the show for the first time, and I remember feeling like a superstar by the end of it. I was quite young and everything. I had on this suit jacket and I was doing my thing, doing the most as well as usual, and the support was great. I walked off the stage and walked right into an interview, and it was just really nice, right? And that's kind of what you want young people and other people to experience as well, that kind of vibe, because it's not something that you get to experience every day. And as I said earlier, it's kind of like a launching pad. It's a stepping stone into, as you've mentioned as well, what Beyonce and those other A-list celebrities go through. I mean, it's from the stage to all kinds of press and this and that, right? On these great and vast stages. So, yeah, it's really a great opportunity.
And it's good that you mentioned that this event is a popular event and it gets so much support.
Yeah.
And that is very commendable, because a couple years ago, entertainment wasn't a really big thing in the Cayman Islands. We never had a lot of artists like Rico Rolando and a lot of artists who live overseas.
Right.
So to see the support coming from the local community for performance and singing, dancing, music, whatever it is, it's commendable. And again, I congratulate you on keeping this up for so long and for keeping it going.
That's what, and that's why it's so important for me to thank Center Point Dance Studio, who I would describe more as a cultivation field, because they have a school, Cayman Music School. Like I say, Dr. Lawrence at UCCI, and Miss McConby at high school. I mean, if all of those have played a part in exactly what we're talking about, and to help all of this to make it, because they are the ones who, like I say, cultivate and produce some of these kids and discover them for us. Mm-hmm. And then I go into the school, or we have our auditions, and then we see them. So that's why we call it the Talent Exposition of the Arts. The word is, to try to expose them. You know what I mean? This event, we doesn't have a prize where you win $1,000 or $2,000, but once you get involved in the Talent Exposition of the Arts, you can always come back to the foundation and we give kids grants. I sponsor about 10 different kids to go back to school at the college to do computer courses and English courses and stuff like that. That's what we does. So in a sense, the organization is a little bit more profitable than just coming and spending $500 at the show. So we are not just an event where you have dance, singing, whatever. We are more an organization where we seek out and try to encourage young people to continue to further their education. You know what I mean? Because, sometimes, music you can get cut short.
Mm-hmm.
It mightn't happen the way you want it to happen at the time. But once you get your degree, you have your education, you're there.
Yep.
So we are more than just an event,
And we thank you for that, Mr. JC.
And one more thing I would like to mention is that I have to mention, like I say, the government because for the past 20 years almost, I've been getting a sponsor from the government. Each 4 years, it falls under different administration. Like now, it's under the youth. The youth falls under the Mr. Werner Bush now, youth and culture. And I still have to thank Minister of Education. So I got a sponsor of Minister of Education and Youth and Culture. For the past 15 to 16 years, they've been supporting the organization. So I have to give them credit too.
And Miss Terry, do you have any final words you want to share?
I'd just like to say, come out and support the show. It's a good platform for youths, young people, and anybody to get the exposure they need to. Yeah, so come out and support.
Okay.
It'll be a good show.
Yeah, so you can get your tickets at Funky Times and Circle Sports. $10 prepaid, $15 at the gate. Gates open 5:30 and the show starts at 6:30.
Awesome. So we are in our season of joy. Can you tell us briefly what brings joy to you all?
This is what brings joy to me. Seeing the young people, come on stage and express themselves. And like I said before, I enjoy, having, like I say, Rico Ronaldo, who's a very good singer, Mr. Lloyd Barker, Miss Terry Williams. We have to have them as I have them as more like role models, And like I say, sometimes the kids doesn't really get to see anyone else who can really perform and sing. So they have someone to look up to at the moment.
And as well, one of my favorite proverbs is Proverbs 11:25, which says that a generous person will prosper and that one who refreshes others also will be refreshed. And I think that goes hand in hand with what Mr. JC said, that doing initiatives like this one is an opportunity to refresh other people and to make other people better. And I think that's what life is all about in terms of helping to develop people, helping to develop yourself. And when you do that, when you refresh other people, you will also be refreshed. You will also feel good. You'll feel joyous. You'll feel happy. And I know that firsthand just from helping others and just doing what I can to see a smile on someone else's face.
Yes.
And it's kind of like what we say when we talk about if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. Because if you're not bettering someone's day, if you're not bettering someone's life in some way, shape, or form, then what good are you really doing with what it is that you're contributing? And I think a show like the Talent Exposition of the Arts and also an initiative and foundation like the New Self-Help Community Foundation are initiatives and foundations that help to better people, and that in and of itself brings joy to the organizers, the founder, Mr. JC, and those who are also involved overall.
Okay. Ms. Terry?
Exactly that. It gives me joy to help somebody, to bring them along the way and show them the ropes, from all the years experience I've gained being on stage. It's a process. It took me to get to where I am today. So it gives me joy, and I'm always willing and ready to help somebody along the way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's why it's so important, when you work at being your best for the benefits of others, losing does not mean failure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I try to create the environment and try to encourage the young people that is the focus. There's a cause for every effect, So what we have to start doing is looking at the cause instead of looking at the effect, Doesn't wait till when it happened. Let's try to get it. So that is really my great joy and my hope, with the foundation, and I'm so happy to be able to have people like Mr. Lloyd Barker, like I say, Mr. Terry William, Mr. Jamo, James Miles, like I say now, almost 21 years. We've been working on different event camps programs over the years, and he has helped the foundation a lot from 2000 when it first started.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for those encouraging words, Mr. JC. And as we're going to take a quick music break, but before we do that, I just want to wish you all the best with the exposition and hope to see you all there. I will be there as well.
Awesome.
So, and remember, gates open at 5:30?
5:30.
5:30, and
Show starts at 6:30.
show starts at 6:30.
And get your ticket at Funkatang, Winner Circle Sports, $10 prepaid, $15 at the gate.
All right, and it's at Harkwell Theater.
Harkwell Theater.
All right.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
To come out. And remember, as I said earlier as well, the parking lot is meant to be really full. So get there as early as you can.
We're not asking. We're telling y'all.
Yes, get there as early as you can, because let me tell you, it's always a sold out show and it's always a great time. So if you haven't purchased tickets as yet, please get on out there and get your tickets.
$10 pre-sold, $15 at the gate. All
That's
right, let's go to our music break.
For our next music break, here is Marshmallow with Be Kind.
And we are back.
Yeah, and guess who
Team
up inside
Summit.
you?
Jamo again.
Huh.
Not just John Mo.
Duction too, a little blow.
We never got enough
Hello,
of you last
K-Man.
week.
How y'all
Nope.
doing?
I guess not.
Well, we got some more people with Jamo. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
I mean, if I must.
You must.
Would you like my real name or my code name?
We only know real people on this show.
Yeah.
I'm really Duction.
So, my name is Mikhail McLaughlin, but I also go by my alias, which most of you would know. I was a previous host of this show and also was 50% of the talent on one of the segments of the show, which was pretty popular at the time.
It's called Buckto.
So at some point we're going to bring it back. So hello and good evening. How are you?
And we see you brought a camper with you?
Yes.
We did indeed. So we brought one of our participants from Teen Summit, which is going on this week and next week. So really quickly, if he would introduce himself, we would really appreciate it.
Good afternoon. My name is Delroy Irving, but people call me as DJ, and I'm from the group Buckto.
See?
Buckto.
Yes, we have interesting team names this year on
I can't
Teen Summit.
There's a team called Elite and one called Space Jam and then Buckto.
Yes.
Wow.
That's
See
not
that?
bad. In Brack at the treasure hunt, my team was Soursault.
Oh, good thing. Yeah, a
And
good
you won?
name.
But Team
Nothing.
Soursop won though. So.
Exactly.
So it's bittersweet
Sour
or sour sweet.
Okay, so now that we have made our introductions, can you tell us what is Teen Summit and what are the campers going to expect from this event?
Well, they can expect to learn new things, be stretched outside of their boundaries, do stuff that they have never done before. Like some of them cut thatch tops. That's something like generations of Caymanians have not been doing. It is the only older folk that still do thatch work that would know when to cut a top, how to cut a top, how to dry it and prepare it for thatch work, and then to do the thatch work. So we're trying to make sure that our traditions stay alive. This Teen Summit is called Beloved Isles. It focuses on our culture and our heritage. So we're throwing in cultural components along with the heritage components so we can keep our traditions alive. With us, DJ has been learning quite a bit of stuff this week, and you'll get a chance to ask him what he's learned, what he's taken away from Teen Summit so far. But all in all, I think the young people are having a good time. They leave extremely exhausted every day. Us too. I mean, I feel it right now, and you know it's hard to get me tired. But anyhow, manage to do that every day, and I go and get a good night rest and be back again to see how much energy they can consume.
Okay. And I want Mikhail to answer this one.
Okay.
Can you tell us what makes Teen Summit so different and special as opposed to the other teen camps and youth camps that are going on this summer?
Well, I think what makes Teen Summit special is it is a collaboration of efforts from persons of different demographics, persons of different interests. So we try to cater to all youth in the Cayman Islands. We also put a fair amount of effort into it, and we are a fairly experienced team who has been involved in youth work for quite some time, and so we try to stay as current as we possibly can, and and again, it's important to note that everyone involved is very passionate about this type of endeavor, and so we do our utmost to make sure that it's the premier offering for summer in terms of camps for the youth. And I think that our feedback reflects that we are pretty much successful when it comes to that. We have many young people who come year after year, and the feedback is always positive. I don't know if John would like to add anything.
I think one of the great things about Teen Summit too is that we have a cadre of youth present and past youth ambassadors pouring into future youth ambassadors. Just looking at the complement of staff that is at Teen Summit now, they have Victor Crumley, who was our ambassador to the Timon Youth Assembly. The ideas that he brought back from the Timon formed the Cayman Islands Youth Assembly. Mikhail used to represent Cayman at the regional level as a regional youth caucus rep. I used to do the same. Camille was a CARICOM youth ambassador. We have the present female CARICOM youth ambassador, Zoe Conley Basdeo, on the staff. So we have and today we had a cooking demonstration by a former youth ambassador as well, Jessica Moore. So we find ways of having all of these ambassadors pour back into future ambassadors, and I think that's one of the unique things about Teen Summit. And so we're preparing young people to take on present and future lead roles, and to do so with a sense of pride in being stately and representing Cayman. And I think that is paramount for any adult to do for children of any nation. If you really want to have your nation have move from surviving to thriving, you need to make sure that they have all the tools that is necessary to not only represent themselves well and their families well, but their country well, and that their country continues to flourish. So we pouring all kind of culture and heritage into them this week, and pouring all kind of leadership into them next week, and we see what comes out of it. I mean, some of the lessons that they learned this week, it would probably click a month from now, but at least they know. They know how it is to cut a top. They know how it is to plait touch. They know how it is to cook Cayman style beef, cook cassava cake. All these things that are traditional Caymanian, uniquely Caymanian. So when they go away into school or to represent Cayman at any regional forum or something, they can showcase our culture.
And I went into Teen Summit thinking that I was an expert on the subject, only to realize that I myself have learned quite a few things in the past couple of days that I didn't know. And so it's been beneficial for not just the students, but the volunteers and the staff as well.
Yeah. Okay. And DJ, I want to, now that we've heard the technical and the fancy side of it, I want to hear from your point of view.
The fun side.
Yeah. What made, I'm pretty sure you've attended other youth camps during the summer before.
Yes, ma'am.
So what makes Teen Summit stand out to you as opposed to the rest?
To me, Teen Summit stands out to me because we get to learn about our culture and our heritage that we never knew when at different camps. And like we have different field trips every morning and every afternoon to teach us different stuff about our heritage.
So tell us what you feel has been the most enjoyable activity so far for the camp.
In my opinion, the best so far was this evening when we made the Cayman style beef and the cassava cake.
Because it was food in the truth.
No, Mom.
So DJ, how has your experience been so far for this whole camp?
It has been good. Excellent.
What kind of activities and events should, well, this is for everyone. What kind of activities and events should young people expect at this year's summit?
Well, we have two. For the first time in 2019, the young people that attended Teen Summit, at the end of it, they were asking for next week. And I'm like, oh, God, we're so tired right now. I don't think we can do it next week. And then COVID came. And in 2020, we had 0 Teen Summits. So we decided that this year we'll muster up as much energy as we possibly can and do 2 weeks of Teen Summit. So this week, they can expect a lot of nuggets about Cayman, a lot of things that they've probably never seen, never done, or if they've seen, they don't know the significance or the importance of it, and they're finally getting to know why this is there, why that is there, or who or what significant event this monument is erected for, and that kind of stuff. I think it gives young people a new way of looking at Cayman. And I think we sometimes take it for granted that everybody knows because it's always there. And if nobody takes the time to tell you exactly why it's there and how it got there and the significance that it has, then you would just pass these things as, oh, that's just a clock. But if you really was to spend the time like we did and find out about the story behind the town clock and the restoration project that it has become and the passions that it has ignited among watchmakers, and that they take that time to say, okay, this is just a big watch, but it is significant. Now, this town clock has stood the test of time and has been there over 100 years, and on all the hurricanes and earthquakes and everything that has come, there's no structural damage, and it is a very sound monument. Those kind of that kind of drilling down of information on what is uniquely Caymanian is what they're getting this week, and next week is about themselves and what they offer the world. I think we need to take a music break, so we do that and then we get back.
For our next music break, here is Chronics with I Can.
Okay, play some commercials.
Welcome back, everyone. We are still joined by Jamo and his crew from Teen Summit. I believe my co-host had a couple questions she wanted to ask.
Yeah, but
DJ.
while she's doing that, I can pick up all our sponsors, because we can't have Teen Summit without sponsors. I want to thank Tunis Toys, I want to thank TCE Paint Shop. I want to thank the New Self Help Community Foundation. I want to thank Rotary Club, Rotary Sunrise Club, and Sol Petroleum for coming on board and helping us run Teen Summit. I also want to thank Budget Rent a Car, who we could be having rental cars to do our scavenger hunt tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Monday. No. Friday is our scavenger hunt. Yeah, I'm jumping all over the place. I'm just excited about scavenger hunts then, so.
Yes, and before we close off the show, I would like to big up Melissa and the team at Rankin Island Coolers, who provided us with bag juice today for all the campers. So if anyone out there is interested in purchasing some bag juice, you can do so by calling 917-6081, and they have all your traditional flavors, as well as
Soursop and tamarind, swanky. I had some,
The
yeah.
one sound nice.
They have one blue one. They have one blue one too.
and they're also reasonably priced. I don't think
$1.
any of all their products are for $1.
I think so, except the Soursop, and those ones are $2.
Right, but you can't beat that. $2 for
Soursop is rare.
Yeah.
right.
True.
And it's basically summer now, and it's only gonna get harder from here on out. So bag juice is it's a
refreshing.
blessing. So go ahead and take advantage. The number again is 917-6081.
That's 917-6081.
When did the Teen Summit start? Did it start this week?
Yeah, it
Yes.
started on Monday.
On Monday, okay. DJ, were you at all the days since it has started?
Yes, Mom.
What kind of activities did you guys do?
Well, yesterday we did walking around, a tour around Georgetown. And
Which parts of Georgetown did you go?
we went to the Hero Square and to the town clock.
You can remember any heroes?
Desmond Fairwater.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's good. Because a lot of young Caymanians do not know the heroes, that's for sure.
They got a lot of them, and they got to see their buses displayed in Hero Square. They got to read about them, and a lot of other historical stops in Georgetown, like Fort George and the Parliament Building, Constitutional Hall, the old library, the Stepwell, and Emsley. There's a lot of history in our Georgetown area, and the young people really got an entrenchment, I would say, yesterday. Monday they went to Winter's Land in East End, and they cut thatch tops, and quite a few different activities. We went to the Seaman's Hall today and talked a little bit about seafaring heritage, and got to take a look at a sextant, which is a navigational tool that was used back in the day, and it's pretty cool. I think they'll learn a lot. It'll sink in when they get further afield. As they grow old, it's something they can share with their children.
Awesome. So unfortunately, we have come to the end of our show. So Teen Summit continues next week,
Yes.
and I'm pretty sure we can bring you guys back in so we can hear more about what Teen Summit's been up to. So thank you for coming on the show today, and wish you all the best with the rest of Teen Summit. And don't tire out yourself too much.
No, man. Every day. Get tired every day and sleep good.
And just to reiterate, for info on Teen Summit or to register, you can contact the Youth Services Unit at 922-3152.
Okay. So, yeah, thank you for coming on the show. Hope to see you again next week and the week after.
My apologies, I got the phone number wrong. The phone number is actually 922-3652. That's 922-3652.
I think that was supposed to be a new number. All right.
All right.
Thank you for joining us on YouFlex. I am your co-host DG, along with my host Chanel. Shout out to our guests, Mr. Jamo, Mikhail, and DJ for coming on the show today. Shout out to Radio Cayman for their work on sound and boards, Mr. Will Sinatra, DJ Lynn, and DJ Silver Fox. Shout out to RJ for the YouTube feed. Also, special shout out to our YouthFlex crew, Jared on YouthFlex Socials and Community Service, our musical director Alejandro Bodin, Kristen Jackson on YouthFlex News Desk, Mohendra Brown, our promo director, and the 100+ Flex family all over the globe. Also, thanks to SIFA.
And on that note, I would also like to shout out our guest that we had earlier, founder and CEO of the New Self-Help Community Foundation, JC, and his two guests, performers, Terry Williams and Lloyd Barker. Thanks to SIFA, Cayman Insurance Center, UWI Open Campus, Train with Dre, and Superior Automotive for sponsoring the Super Jam, and to you, our listeners, for tuning in every Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. for Youth Flex on 89.9 FM. Join us again next Wednesday for Youth Flex Season of Joy. Until next week, this is your host, Chanel Martinez, saying, smile now, laugh later.